Hello and welcome to night number 2 of the quarterfinal round here in the ReGen Invitational 3. I'm your host tonight. Once again, Murda here, bringing you some of these fine matches for you. We have number 2 seed here in the Invitational bracket, ReGen Phoenix, up against the number 10 seed, House of Chez. Let's talk a bit about how this unraveled in the opening round. Taking a look back, we got to see ReGen Phoenix knock off the Dancing Queens 2-0 in the opening round. And just below them, House of Chez with the upset. The number 10 seed over the number 7 seed. They knocked off Die for Vision in the round of 16. Here we are tonight, though. Number 2 versus number 10. I've got everyone in our lobby. I doubt they want to wait too much longer, so I'm going to let them know that we're ready to go. And while we're waiting for this lobby to launch, let's go over our map bans for this evening. It was ReGen Phoenix winning the toss and opting for the first hero pick here in map number 1. So it was first a ban for House of Chez. They took away Dragonshire and Braxis Holdout. ReGen Phoenix banning away Alterac Pass and Tomb of the Spider Queen. We're about to be ready to hop into our map number 1. And ladies and gentlemen, it's the classic map. It's Cursed Hollow. Looks like Arrow's about to start it up for us, so strap on in. Get ready to go. We got some ReGen Invitational 3 action starting now. So here we are, Cursed Hollow, the map pick from House of Chez. First to ban and pick here will be ReGen Phoenix. And who got the crown? It's Arrow and it's Flash, our 2 acting captains here for this matchup tonight. Good little rivalry is hopefully brewing between some of these teams, although I don't know if this one in particular is one. ReGen Phoenix, House of Chez, I'm not super familiar with their match history if they've had any. I doubt they've played against each other before. So we're going to see these 2 teams face off on what is a brand new patch here in Heroes of the Storm. Patch number 50.0 and the 5-year anniversary of Heroes of the Storm. What a huge update we had just today. I've only been able to play 2 quick matches, a couple PTR games. But let's run down some of these changes as we see Mal'Ganis, the first hero banned out by ReGen Phoenix. We have a brand new Nexus Anomaly that has entered the game. As we see Abathur taken out first here by House of Chez. This new anomaly will allow the towers to aggro any hero who hits an opposing hero underneath the enemy towers. It'll just turn ranged if you've played League of Legends. If you've played Dota, you've probably felt this before. Well, now it's in Heroes of the Storm. A lot harder to siege in onto walls, onto forts, onto keeps. So it's going to be a lot of new heroes, I think, entering the meta. Most notably for me is likely going to be Sylvanas. Her black arrows are able to shut down these towers and really help your team fight through the mayhem that is going to be this new Nexus Anomaly. Final ban there for House of Chez is Zul after Mephisto was taken out by ReGen Phoenix. That's going to leave open the Sylvanas. Does ReGen Phoenix take her? The answer is yes. So it's going to be a power hero, maybe triple S tier here in this new patch. We're going to get our first look at her already entering this map number 1 Cursed Hollow. How does House of Chez respond to this pick? Do they have something flashy up their sleeve? It's going to be Johanna and Li Ming so far for them. So Johanna, pretty decent stall on the objective here on Cursed Hollow. Of course, fantastic wave clear, even though this map isn't notable for needing too much wave clear. They pick up Li Ming as well. Great poke herself. Will be able to provide those resets if they can find any quick kills in these fights. So always a devastating mage to play against if in the right hands, and it's gonna be the dude in control of Li Ming here in game number 1. As we see a couple more picks for ReGen Phoenix coming in, it's gonna be Falstead and Murd, and that Falstead gonna give them some global presence here on a huge map, Cursed Hollow. Also gonna give them access to a Gust at level 10, which could provide them a bit of help inside on these boss points. They grab this Murden as well, which is one of the sturdiest tanks in the game, able to escape out of a lot of situations, and it's going to be really tough for a hero like Li Ming to find kills, having to deal with a huge health pool like Murden. Final ban there for House of Chez. We see locked in as Sylvanas, which means... not Sylvanas, that's Stukov. I'm so used to talking about Sylvanas. I just completely slipped up on a name there. That is Stukov, the Admiral. One ban left, and it does belong to Phoenix here on the left. Final ban will be Ana. So not sure what the thought's going to be from here, but I do see a Greymane still open, which can pair in so nicely with a Li Ming. Access to grab that Cursed Bullet, which would do a number to a health pool like Muradin we see on that other side. Would not be surprised if we see Greymane here, but if they don't grab it here, I'm not so certain they'll be able to later on, and they just don't want it. They're going to go with Lunara for flash, and Chesmake's going to be hopping on the Thrall. Final two picks now for ReGen Phoenix. Need a support. Might want another offlane. Not sure if they're going to want to leave Darabo in those offlane duties, but here on this big map, it's sometimes nice to have a bruiser and someone who can split soak like a Falstead. That's exactly what they're going to do. They grab a Sonya for their newest player on this roster, new offlaner. It's Snazzy. One pick remains. It's going to need to be a support here, a healer for Caribou, the final selection. Who's out there available right now? I guess they could maybe fit in something like a Malfurion. Instead, it's going to be an Uther, and maybe not a horrible pick with a lot of burst damage in access here for ReGen Phoenix. The Sylvanas, a pretty decent amount of burst Falstead as well. And how do they go at level 10? Divine Storm or Divine Shield? We'll find out. But before we get there, it's time to ask you guys at home who you're here rooting for. Who's going to win this game number 1? Let me open this poll up. Who will win game 1? ReGen Phoenix or House of Chez? And just like that, the poll is open. Head on up to the top of your chat. Hit the drop down. Select the team you want to win game number 1. And make sure you hit submit, because if you don't, I won't see your vote, they won't see your vote, the rest of chat won't see your vote, and we'll just never know who you want to win this game 1. But here we are, we're already in. Load screen, super fast for us there. Welcome to Cursed Hollow, and let me introduce this team on the left-hand side. Here in the back, we see Arrow playing the Murd and Darabo on that Falstead. Rabid Penguin going to play Sylvanas as Snazzy's on Sonya, and Arya, the support today, on Anduin. Make some noise for ReGen Phoenix. And here on the opposite side, we got the Dude playing Li Ming. That's going to be Ridley on Johanna. Chesmix on the Thrall. Caribou playing Uther. And Flash on the Lunara. They go by House of Chez. Already a bit of a split and a bit of an aggressive play starting up from ReGen Phoenix. Remember, if these towers hit any heroes, they will reduce armor as well, and ReGen Phoenix going to play early and forward onto this top side along with Sylvanas and her black arrows, and just like that already, one of the towers is down. Darabo going to go ahead and Parth back to base, seemingly going to want to head down to that bottom lane, as I believe we'll end up seeing Sonya remain the sole hero up here for ReGen Phoenix as they make these rotations across the map. Here comes the flight from Falstead down to this bottom lane, and all the lanes now being soaked by Phoenix. Here comes Uther and Lunara down to the bottom lane to deal with Darabo. See if there can be a good hammer of justice, and there it is. A lot of damage now coming in from Flash, and Darabo already having to retreat behind the wall. 50% health, using that well tap. Over at mid, let's check this out. Arrow sitting in a bush. Ridley out in the wave, playing that Johanna. Plenty of wave clear, as I mentioned during draft, and getting decent value as Arya going to make the rotation down to the bottom to help out Falstead, who's been taking a chunk of damage from this combination of Lunara, Uther, and Li Ming. Finally, we do see Lunara and Uther heading over to their camp, as Sonya able to do that all by herself here on the opposite side for ReGen Phoenix. Anduin still waiting in this bush. Now gonna reveal in the lane, but not much they'll be able to do up against this Li Ming. Staying at a distance, finding some magic missile damage and a few orbs as well. At mid, Arrow not afraid to exchange some damage into Johanna, as both these teams are getting out their siege camps, and we do see now Lunara and Uther heading up to that bruiser camp as well, and There's Sonya Anduin working on the bruiser camp for ReGen Phoenix. Up top, it's going to be Sylvanas against Thrall, and Chez Mix is absolutely destroying Rabid Penguin right now. Health bar so low, but his Siege Giants pressing in for Sylvanas. Yet to see what her level 4 choice is. Will be Possession, and there goes a few of those targets already. Going to help this push out. Thrall, 100 health, might get this kill. Doesn't. Rotations now coming. Lunara, Uther going to help Thrall out. Got to deal with this siege camp, able to push in onto these towers. Sylvanas going to hearth back to base and checking out the bottom lane. This siege camp's been pushing for a while too. But in defense, Darabo and Arya not letting it get any damage out onto that wall of ReGen Phoenix. First tribute spawning 20 seconds away, and we do have a clash here at mid with these bruiser camps rotating up. Anduin going to help out, but plenty of poke from Flash. You see just how effective this Lunara is able to be. No one able to press forward onto her, and just a lot of free auto attack damage, allowing for that push to get a considerable amount of damage onto the wall and onto that topside turret here in the mid lane. But now our tribute being active, we have to watch the action up here. Arrow going to try to walk on into it. Good route there by Thrall to slow down the play as Johanna finds the Condemned. Chasing in now, Lunara sending Muradin down to 50% health. Going to need that supporting from Anduin behind, and it's been maybe not enough yet so far for ReGen Phoenix. Finally showing up is Falstead, as the dude on the backside looking for this channel, likely about to get it, and does. That spin, the whirlwind from the Sonya. Not quite in time, but do they get first blood of the game? Yes, they do. Johanna's going to fall, but not before House of Chez grabs away the first tribute of the game. So we're in a very likely situation that this will end up being a very long game from what you guys at home are used to here in Heroes of the Storm. This added wrinkle of having these towers shoot at the heroes instead of at the minions makes it a lot harder to siege in, a lot more difficult to find those structure kills, and ultimately that means a lot harder to get catapults out on the map. So first team to take a structure usually will have a bigger advantage than they otherwise would have on the old patch, but it's going to take a while to see how this meta unfolds. Does Sylvanas become a power hero? Or are there others that end up being a bit more important? Snazzy now surrounded, 2 heroes on him. Uther with the Great Hammer of Justice now spinning back up to the top wall. Snazzy will escape, but a long trot down to the bottom before this tribute is active. And I don't know if Sonya is going to really be able to get here in time. Can ReGen Phoenix afford to give up another tribute this early in the game? Arrow's going to check that big bush and find a few heroes rotating in. Now Stukov throwing out that Chastise, going to slow down Uther on the front end. But more fantastic poke again. Flash really playing well on this Lunara so far. Now finding a tremendous amount of damage onto Muradin. Arrow had to jump all the way in, looking for the interrupt, but now just gives a reset out to Leeming. She's going to miss her reset orb, but might be able to get another reset out as Sonya solo trying to whirlwind. Oh, Johanna falls. Sonya lives. And Snazzy looking good there on the Sonya. Make it a double. Thrall's going to fall as well on the backside of that fight. Now just waiting on the Muradin to respawn. Darabo finding a bit of a shield from that barrel roll, and it's a triple kill for ReGen Phoenix. You're going to be able to push House of Chez off this point. Looking for the interrupt is Leeming. She does get it, but tribute finally goes over to ReGen Phoenix. Low mana here for Lunara. I'm not sure how much longer she'll be able to stand in here and fight, but once again, these towers being so much more destructive. You can see the hesitancy from ReGen Phoenix of pushing in onto that lane along with that wave. So they're going to back on out, wait for level 10s, and here they come. There is a camp available for ReGen Phoenix. Looks like it's going to be Falstead walking over potentially to bribe this. That is, in fact, what happens. Darabo able to grab that here before this tribute, and will be a level 10 advantage for ReGen Phoenix. So far, looks like House of Chez is going to be content backing off this trib, and I like this play. They're walking right onto the boss, going to be able to send this out, and I don't think ReGen Phoenix has any idea of what's going on. They will be able to get this tribute, but man, it's going to be a little bit too late for them to make a response onto that boss, and they haven't started up their own. Wait, maybe they will. Yes, they will right now. But here comes House of Chez. Their boss is complete. ReGen Phoenix knows that part. will they be able to finish this one in time before anyone shows up? Looks like no contest coming out from House of Chez. They're just going to go ahead and grab their bruiser camp, which will allow for this camp to push in the top lane, although there is going to be a siege giant nearby. It changes targeting and instead hits his minion wave. Now Falstead showing up, going to help clear this out for ReGen Phoenix. And on the bottom side, let's follow what's going on here. Looks like Sylvanas nearby. We'll have those black arrows, and there they come. Targeting out onto these towers. Boss also swinging away. And that should be wall number 2 for ReGen Phoenix. But how much more can they get with this boss? There is a tribute spawning in 14 seconds. But looks like they don't care too much about it. Falstead was able to clear out that boss up top. Now pushing back Lunara with the help of that tower. And our blue team's going to continue pushing forward, completely giving up this tribute. Let's see if any hearts are starting to come out. Yes, they will. Thrall looking to get back to base to help out the defense of this boss onto their keep all. A few more, but the Gust going to interrupt 4 of them, creating even more room for these black arrows from Sylvanas to get more structures down. That's going to be 1 turret, make it 2, as the boss still sitting with 50% health. They get through an entire keep wall and say, enough's enough. We just did pretty good there, fellas. Let's hop on out and start getting ready for this next tribute. Will be curse point in both directions, so either side will have a huge advantage here. No towers can target you when they're cursed, so you don't have to worry about the anomaly. Big brain thinking here in map number 1. Sonya also going to work on this bruiser camp as House of Chez seems like they want to try to invade this. Here comes Johanna and Lunara. Blind's going to start off onto Sonya. There's the light bomb. Does hit onto the Lunara, but I don't think that's nearly enough. Now this huge falling swords play from Johanna going to help set up the first kill of the fight and the reset for Li Ming. Sonya's going to fall as well. Make it a double kill there for House of Chez. They do end up getting a third as well. And look at the tribute right next door to them. They steal away the bruiser camp and are about to curse ReGen Phoenix all at the same time. Huge power play here for House of Chez. An opportunity to get their first structure of the game down here with this curse. How are they going to split up the waves? Looks like Li Ming's going to try to clear up this wave in the back. Thrall's about to press forward onto these towers. No stall comes out from Darabo. He did try to grab it with that hammer from Falstead, but unsuccessful. And here comes House of Chez in the bottom lane trying to counter out that damage that was already started, and catapults which are being spawned out periodically for ReGen Phoenix. No tower ammo. You see 5 heroes here taking full advantage of it and should easily be able to get this fort down. Whereas in the top lane we still see Sonya trying to clear out a wave along with this siege camp. Falstead at mid trying to push forward this wave as well. And House of Chez not going to continue their push in the bottom lane. Instead, looks like they might rotate here to mid. Helpful pings are coming out, and that's exactly where they're going. Once again, just Falstead here in defense for now. Here comes Anduin. Sonya's still way up top. The other 2 heroes nowhere nearby, so will end up likely being the second fort of this objective. And there it does go. And there goes House of Chez, able to retreat. Well done on that objective. Finding the 2 structures, finding a bit of XP, and we're almost tied up here. 4-4 in kills, slightly better on the soak right now for ReGen Phoenix. So we'll call it about a half-level lead. And trying to get the remainder of this topside fort. House of Chez going to throw the damage in, but Lunara targeted by the fort. No! What just happened? Oh, that feels really bad. ReGen Phoenix now with an opportunity to push in. Here's Sylvanas onto a keep. There go the black arrows. Bit of a defense here. Falling Sword going to come out, hitting just the Sylvanas. She's able to move on out. Iron Skin going to continue pressing in with that Condemn, looking for the kill, but the Light Bomb in response. Great cleanse from Uther, keeping Ridley on their feet. And Phoenix is going to have to back out now without that siege camp behind them. Level 16 seems to be the priority for them, but they were able to steal away a siege camp from House of Chez, so just this bruiser camp left available for our away side. They're going to try to get on it before ReGen Phoenix reaches level 16. Only 8 stacks currently on Stormbolt for Muradin. We do see a quest completed here for Uther Hammer the Lightbringer, and only 8 stacks as well for our Thrall player with the Crash Lightning. Boss about to respawn, and this could be good timing for ReGen Phoenix as they're on Curse Point with this next objective spawn, and it is just getting announced 30 seconds away. So if they can get this boss out on the map, it's going to make it very hard for House of Chez to do anything about defending it if they don't want to give up the tribute. And you do see them up on the top side. They're working on their own boss right now, which could be a good idea, but they're still going to have to figure out a way to play defense, whereas ReGen Phoenix, they don't have to worry about a curse coming after this trib. House of Chez sitting at 0 of 3 after collecting their 3rd on the last tribute. Bosses were taken on opposite sides of the map. There it goes for House of Chez, but Arya on the point, wide open. Gonna be able to get this tribute and the curse for ReGen Phoenix. Now let's watch what can happen in this bottom lane. Boss about to be pushing in. Falstead still split up in the mid lane, and no one responding to the boss as of yet. Looks like Falstead's going to help out the squad, try to get this keep down, and potentially, with the help of a kill, they could actually end this one out. Good chastise onto the Uther, and Uther's going to fall. Does get the Divine Storm out, as well as that Sunder coming out from Thrall. Great Gust helping out with that Falling Swords coming from Johanna. Falstead able to kind of save the day there for a minute for ReGen Phoenix, as the keep will fall. Boss still sitting above 50% health. Flash here in defense. Now, this is where the next wrinkle of the Nexus Anomalies comes into play, because there will be some crazy stuff coming out from the core as another kill's picked up onto Lunara. It will be a trade out that time onto Falstead. The reset for Leeming, looking for more, but can she get it? No. Another kill for ReGen Phoenix. Johanna having to go back to base. Chez makes almost in trouble there. Might still be, as Arrow hopping around. They do get the kill onto Thrall. The boss is still alive for ReGen Phoenix as they try to close out game number 1. They will in 14 minutes. Taking it on Cursed Hollow. And let's take a look at this match summary brought to you by Nexus Gaming Series and our fine partners, Military and Veteran Gamers nonprofit charity. Let's take a look at this kill count. It was pretty close for most of the game, at one point 4-4, but then ReGen Phoenix turning on the afterburners after losing out on the first curse. They're able to get a boss at a very good time, as well as that tribute, pushing in with their own curse and able to close out that map number 1 pretty quickly. I mean, it was only level 18 to 16, and I was expecting potentially a 25-30 minute game there on Cursed Hollow. Well done by both sides, using the mercenary camps and those bosses to their advantage. And Sylvanas, you got to worry about this hero, because a few times ReGen Phoenix was able to find siege opportunities with the help of those black arrows. Let's take a look at the talent screen before we move on to our first break of the evening. I want to say a quick thank you to all of you stopping in. So far, I do see a few of you in chat. T. Dilio, looks like rooting for Snazzy. So sit in your seats, hang tight. I got a quick commercial for you from Nexus Gaming Series talking about our Patreon campaign. If you want to contribute and help out the #1 amateur scene here in North America, check out patreon.com/heroes Nexus Gaming Series. I'll be back in just a few minutes. We're going to set up game number 2. Don't go anywhere. And welcome back to the stream, ladies and gentlemen. We just watched ReGen Phoenix take game number 1 on Cursed Hollow. 14 minutes is all they needed, but it didn't look as easy as maybe they were hoping for. It was a very sturdy fight from House of Chez, who appeared to really have the first opportunity for some real structural damage, and they did get all those outer forts down, but without finding one of those keeps, they weren't quite able to finish the game out. Smart playing from ReGen Phoenix, able to get that boss and the curse simultaneously, allowing them to push in for the win there. Great gust at the end as well from Falstad, helping set up that kill, set up the final play there, which secured the win for them. I'm here in the lobby. We do have all our players waiting to hear from the captains if they're ready to go. Looks like House of Chez just threw their R out there for us. Just waiting to hear back from ReGen Phoenix. I'm going to give them my R once again as well. But while we have a quick break, let's talk briefly about our charity we're working with, Military and Veteran Gamers, supporting our veterans suffering from PTSD and depression. They send out these fantastic care packages to them, and every dollar that we're contributing here to our goal is going to go towards helping out these fantastic veterans of ours. So please, if you have some time, consider checking out mvgcharity.com/tip if you want to contribute. Otherwise, thanks for hanging out and being a viewer here on the channel, helping support Heroes of the Storm in this fun little tournament we have during the preseason of Nexus Gaming Series Season 9. A smart ban this time, Sylvanas taken away by House of Chez, and it's also going to be a ban onto Zool from ReGen Phoenix. So Zool was taken out in game number 1 from House of Chez, but this time having that first pick, swapping sides a bit are these bans. I wouldn't be surprised if we see something else from game 1 taken out here. I'm not so sure it's going to be the Abathur again. Will be a ban they did have in game number 1, a Stukov. One ban remains here in the opening portion of our draft here on Battlefield of Eternity. With Zool already taken away, do they also want to get rid of Deathwing? Or do they get rid of something a bit more meta? Yeah, they're just going to take away the Johanna and maybe try to put, I believe it was Ridley playing the Johanna in game 1. Maybe put Ridley off of a comfort pick, but it's the dude hopping on a hero that they were able to play in game 1, the Li Ming. Li Ming, definitely one of those MVP players for House of Chez in game 1. Had a few resets, had most of the kills with the help of her arcane damage coming out. So I think it's a pretty smart pick, especially here on Battlefield of Eternity, where she can be pretty effective. Arrow gonna hop into the Arthas as we see Rabid Penguin gonna get on a very strong racer. It's Vala. Haven't seen Arrow play too much Arthas, putting a few question marks on my head. Wondering if maybe there's something a bit extra going to come out of this draft, or if indeed Arthas will be that main tank. Of course, he does have access to Syndragosa, which can shut down towers, similar to Sylvanas was able to do in game 1. But we see two great picks now coming out for House of Chez. Artanis going to have Amateur Opponent available at level 1, and Mal'Ganis, a very sturdy tank with that Dark Conversion at level 10, or can go into the Carrion Swarm as well. Two pretty powerful heroics at level 10 for one of the sturdiest tanks currently in the meta. 2 seconds final ban. Once again, Ana taken away in this spot by ReGen Phoenix, as House of Chez has been holding their support picks to the final selection in each of these first 2 drafts. Part of their strategy trying to get locked in on some of these comfort picks on their assassin positions. Notably, the Li Ming, which we already saw, and Chesmix, I believe, played the Thrall in game 1. This time going to be on the Artanis. As Rhaegar, the final ban from House of Chez, and that might be a very smart one, choking out the support pool for Arya, so wouldn't be surprised if we end up seeing that Anduin once again here in this spot. They're going to have just about 5 more seconds to make that pick. Could also be Ariel, perhaps. Oh! Lieutenant Morales. Okay. I would have assumed that was going to be the Anduin again. Complete shocker there to see Morales come out. I wonder what they're thinking. They do also grab Jaina for some Mage Burst damage. Final picks here will be Zul'jin and Lucio for House of Chez. Trying to quickly write all those down in my book as we're waiting on our final pick here from ReGen Phoenix. We do have a new follow coming in. That is Grindathon with the follow. Thanks for stopping in. Thanks for checking out the ReGen Invitational 3. 2 seconds left for Snazzy will be ETC. That's an arrow pick. So I'm expecting a swap here for ReGen Phoenix. And there is the swap. Snazzy is going to be playing that Arthas, and Arrow going to hop on to the Mad Cow. And I think we actually did see a swap there for Vala and Jaina between Darabo and Rabid Penguin. So all over the place is ReGen Phoenix. I got to ask you guys once again in chat. Game 1, you guys picked ReGen Phoenix 3-0 to win that first map. But we're going to ask you once again, who will win Game 2? ReGen Phoenix or House of Chez? And once again, our poll is active. Head up to the top of your chat, hit that drop down, select the team you want to win, and make sure you hit submit. Game 1, 14 minutes is all ReGen Phoenix needed. Will they be able to replicate here on Battlefield of Eternity? We're about to find out, but first, let's introduce this team on the left-hand side. Up front on the ETC is going to be Arrow, Rabid Penguin playing the Jaina. Darabo on the Vala. Up top, we do see Snazzy on the Arthas, and still back in base playing Lieutenant Morales will be Arya. Ladies and gentlemen, they're the number 2 seed here in the Invitational bracket. They're known as ReGen Phoenix. Here on the right-hand side, we see Ridley on Mal'Ganis, Caribou playing the Lucio, the Dude once again on the Leeming, as Chesmix is on the Artanis, and rounding it out, it's the Captain, Flash, on the Zul'jin. Make some noise for the number 10 seed, House of Chez. Level 1 talents are up. Bit more of a defense here in Game 2 as House of Chez saw what happened in Game 1 with the help of that Sylvanas. Playing a full court press here on all their forts, making sure these towers are going to remain healthy in the early portion of this. And finally, with some action here at the bottom lane, Arrow's going to lead it off with a nice power slide and a face melt onto Mal'Ganis, already sent down to about, we'll say 15% health. And have to use that well tap early and ask for a bit of supporting from Caribou. Top lane, this is going to be very tough for Arthas to deal with. It's Zul'jin and the range advantage, that auto attack speed that can come out from Flash. Could be trouble for Snazzy. We're going to find out how this unfolds as the game moves on, but so far looks as though Zul'jin able to get the better half of the wave clear, but Snazzy playing safe back at the wall. Here's a fight down bottom. Rabid Penguin taking a huge chunk of damage, but look at that heal beam from Lieutenant Morales. Able to get Jaina right back up to speed. A swap there from Chesmix will miss. Gonna wait for another wave, I guess. Unable to see Jin with the help of minions. Gonna really need to have these heroes cleared out of the way before anyone's feeling too adventurous here on Battlefield of Eternity. Of course, when we do see our Immortals coming down, does that change the story? I think the Immortal doesn't soak the shots. It'll still go to a hero if they hit a hero. Here up top, Darabo rotating up onto Zul'jin. They're gonna miss on the route, but Flash ends up falling anyway, and that's going to be first blood for ReGen Phoenix as Darabo is going to start up this siege camp, working on this Monster Hunter build at level 1. It's definitely the way to go here on Battlefield of Eternity, especially when you get into the racing. Down bottom will be a 4v3 and a wise call from House of Chez, able to pick up that bottom lane siege camp. Zul'jin just respawning as there was no siege going on from ReGen Phoenix. That might have been a good spot for them as Zul'jin was out of the lane. Instead, just getting that camp going to help out the Arthas a bit in lane. But should be able to be cleared out by Zul'jin rather easily. See if any of these Howling Blasts will be able to connect onto Flash, but so far hasn't been the case for Snazzy. Now going to step in. But yeah, I just think Zul'jin's going to be able to clear this out without too much contest. Arthur's going to try to walk, but doesn't want to get too close to those towers. And we do have our first Immortal spawn in just about 8 seconds. ReGen Phoenix going to hold this Bruiser Camp until the final second. And there it goes. Both sides going to get their Bruiser Camp out, but... Ooh, actually, what happened here? They weren't able to get this down quickly enough, and now ReGen Phoenix able to work on the race a bit quicker than House of Chez, as ETC going to stay back in defense on the bottom side of this jungle area. Here comes House of Chez onto their own Immortal. Looking for the swap is Artanis. Finds it onto Jaina, right into an Immortal stun. Well done by Chesmix, picking up the first kill of the game for House of Chez. Not able to reach the 50% mark in halftime is ReGen Phoenix, so opportunity here to send Artanis down to the bottom with that amateur opponent working on the enemy Immortal now. As the rest of the heroes going to play defense up top, we do see Arthas now maybe in a bit of trouble. Snazzy trying to escape, but the boop there from Lucio will mean the second kill of the game is secured by House of Chez. There's still a Bruiser Camp pushing up in the top, but it looks like the Shaman has been targeted by the tower, so it will fall. Here comes the rest of the race. Chesmix on that Artanis, the solo attacker for House of Chez, as the remaining 4 heroes going to play defense here on their own Immortal. Coming back from base now is Arthas, and might be a moment too late to get here. On the other side, we do see Artanis getting slapped around a bit by that Immortal, but still pretty sturdy defense coming out. Oh, wow. Arrow sliding into an Immortal stun, it appears, as Phoenix going to try to push through the remainder of this health bar, but are they able to get it done? Jaina standing in there just auto-attacking as Mal'Ganis trying to slow it down with these Spell Claws. Is it too little too late? Yes, it will be. ReGen Phoenix able to secure the first objective of the game.
Victory through righteousness.
This will have about a 33% shield on it, as 4 heroes rotating up to the top to join up with this Immortal. We'll see what kind of value this objective can get these days with this new Nexus Anomaly. Is it that much harder to push in? We're going to see Jaina try to step up, going to get that Cone of Cold onto this tower. No one targeting any of the enemy heroes, so far ReGen Phoenix able to keep their health bars. Finally, ETC able to use a base melt after those towers were down, and that will be the first wall of the game awarded over to ReGen Phoenix, but will they be able to get this fort? Not gonna happen. Good defense coming out from House of Chez, as they have a quarter level lead currently here, rounding almost into level 8. It's going to be this Aetherwalker build coming out from Li Ming, which helps a lot in racing on these Immortals. She's able to flash around and get the extra Q damage and do it from a safe distance. Bush party started up. Leaving the bush, looking for a different bush, is now Arrow going to play in the vent up here, trying to defend against this, and will be able to oh so carefully grab away that siege camp in favor of ReGen Phoenix, and they're able to get on out. Now the dude may be by themselves in a bit of trouble. Can Arrow find a power slide here onto Li Ming? Looks like not yet. A couple globes here for Phoenix, going to make sure their health bars are topped off, and a little bit of mana back over to Vala, who's playing nice and aggressive there on the front side, trying to poke away onto Li Ming, but that siege camp not able to survive too long. Doesn't even make it past the mid-field point. No other camps available other than the siege camp on the bottom side of the map here near our bottom lane heroes. And looks like Jaina is going to rotate down to try to maybe help out Arthas a bit with grabbing the siege camp. I don't think Rabbit Penguin was seen. So off to work here is Li Ming. She does have at level 7 the Ice Lance, which will reduce the cooldown on that Q, allowing her to be a bit more effective here, clearing out these mercs. Now, Artanis gonna walk on in. Rabbit Penguin in a lot of trouble. Lucio as well. Lands the boop onto Jaina. Howling Blast gonna miss, and Jaina cannot get away. It's a camp steal for House of Chez. And the Immortal spawning in just 3 seconds will be a huge advantage for them. Level 10 just around the corner as well. It's going to be in a very aggressive spot here for both teams, able to get some free damage out on their own side of the map. But ReGen Phoenix able to get about 25% off, which is a bit of a silver lining for them, because they probably have no chance at grabbing this after halftime without level 10s and without their full squad ready and able to go. House of Chez sending in this Li Ming and Zul'jin, and already very quickly able to go through the second half of this Immortal, and they're going to have a 75% shield Immortal pushing, I believe, in the bottom lane. Yes, confirmed. Swap barely missing that time on Davala. Darabo is in a bit of trouble. Now going to step back on out. As those Arcanite axes from Zul'jin going to barely whiff onto Darabo. Big damage coming out from these orbs from Li Ming. And watch the Aether Walker trying to be played before each of these magic missiles comes out from the dude. Arrow walking in on the backside, trying to land some sort of interrupt here onto this team from moving forward, but it's going to finally be the Immortal pressing in, starting to get some damage out onto this fort. Arrow still playing deep into this enemy team as a stun barely misses Vala that time. Nice double power slide. No Howling Blast follow-up from Arthas is going to mean that this fort likely going to fall and will be the first structure of the game. I almost didn't go down, but a good orb from the dude going to secure it that time. And up top, Artanis has been left all alone and will be able to get through this topside wall. Huge value for House of Chez. Bit of aggression now coming out for ReGen Phoenix, looking for something here, but the blind going to shut it down or at least stall it out from Artanis. Phoenix now going to back away from the fight as Chesmic's going to start up this bruiser camp for House of Chez. Will be a bit of time until our next Immortal, so this bruiser camp going to be pushing without that objective available and trying to be fought over in the mid side of the map. So is this a smart play or will it cost them? I'm not quite sure yet if the value is going to be necessarily had here from this bruiser camp, or does ReGen Phoenix, will they be able to just clear it out easily? They're going to also have the help of this siege camp here on the top side, going to help clear out the Mercs coming in the opposite direction as Arrow waiting for a power slide. Does he see anything? So far, nothing. Maybe had a chance to go for something there. I'm surprised he didn't pull that trigger. At level 10, we do see it was Ring of Frost, the selection for Jaina, and Sindragosa is the selection for Arthas. I think that was what we were expecting. They're going to want to use it along with any sort of Immortal objective they grab, but so far, without having that level 10 talent during their first objective win, we haven't been able to see that push happen from ReGen Phoenix quite yet. Bottom side, Artanis going to run into an ETC here, and Chesmix could be in trouble. That Blizzard hitting tremendously, and Artanis will fall, and that's a horrible time to die as the objective's on the map and right next to the enemy side. Oh my god, that stim drone onto Arthas. Snazzy just wailing away on this thing. I can't imagine that was the intended target, or if they even wanted to use that in that situation. I think an 85-second cooldown from Lieutenant Morales being used to help siege that halftime push. Arrow now sliding in, finds the mosh pit, 2 targets. Rain of Vengeance slowing down Caribou, can't get that barrier off. Good carry and swarm though from Mal'Ganis, but the roots are there again. Ring of Frost landing, but they're not going to continue pushing in. They want to make sure they get this objective, and they don't want to give up any more space, any more of their health bar. But they will secure this objective, and they hold on to their Sindragosa as well. So we're going to get our first look at Arthas and how effective the hero can be. Good counter siege, though, from House of Chez. They get that thing all the way down to about a 15% shield. And Arrow's the one being sent back to help deal with these catapults. 2 of them stacked up in the bottom lane. And that's exactly where this Immortal will be as well. Bottom lane in favor of ReGen Phoenix. They have the Sindragosa. Let's see what Snazzy's able to do with it. Still hasn't pulled the trigger on it. And here comes Sindragosa. Does it hit any heroes? Yes, it does. A big slow onto multiple targets. Mal'Ganis now in trouble. Sitting inside of it with the Rain of Vengeance from Vala once again securing a kill. This structure still without any ammo. You see that big no bomb on top of it means ReGen Phoenix able to secure their own fort of the game and potentially pushing in further. Mal'Ganis dead for another 15 or so seconds, and Artanis all the way up in the top lane. Darabo taking a huge chunk from, I believe, the Zul'jin, but able to be supported back up by Arya and this Lieutenant Morales. There's the blind from Artanis, going to slow down this push just a bit. He's still up in the top lane trying to counter siege. Here comes that stim drone once again. It's going to be for Vala this time. Trying to get this keep down. Can they do it? No, not with Darabo taking shots from the keep. So it will survive. We'll call that 40% health. And Artanis trying to go all the way back to base. He was very low. Fort still going to stand on the top side here for Phoenix. as they're going to try to push on in and do it with the help of this siege camp on the top side. Snazzy here. What's the cooldown on Sindragosa? It's a 100-second cooldown, so a long time between casts here, but already just 20 seconds remain, so could end up seeing it pretty soon, and maybe even on this push here for ReGen Phoenix. We'll see what they're able to do. Bottom side will be a camp picked up for House of Chez as well. Do they want to remain here sieging in the bottom lane? Looks like the answer will be yes. They're staying here. They're going to try to push in onto these towers. Flash going to pop all the way on in with this Zul'jin, taking a few shots from these towers, sent all the way down to about 15% health, but Lucio here able to support Flash back up. As Phoenix was able to get that topside fort, they're now here in defense. An Arrow going to rotate around on the backside, has a power slide, does have a mosh pit as well, but didn't use it there. There's the Carrion Swarm from Mal'Ganis trying to get Ridley away, and will be saved back to the help of Caribou. Topside, Khazra Camp still pushing. What kind of value can it get? So far, no one in defense. Looks like maybe Caribou moves to it? No. It'll be Artanis in defense, and just in time as they were going to be starting to target in onto this tower. They do get a few shots off, but finally that'll be killed. Bottom lane Bruiser Camp was picked up for ReGen Phoenix, and that's well timed here during the objective. Currently sitting on the defensive side, they have their level 16 talent. Still no pick from Lieutenant Morales yet. Finally, we will end up seeing extended care, so that'll give her a bit more safety playing from a distance with that extended range on the Q. Poking away, trying to, is Vala here from a distance with that Monster Hunter. Of course, also completed Puncturing Arrow at level 4. Speaking of arrows, ETC taking a chunk of damage. That's Arrow. As the red team able to finally destroy that topside fort, it's going to be Vala sent in defense, trying to clear up the remainder of that Bruiser Camp. Both our teams now... Well, actually, House of Chez, they're deciding otherwise to start moving on to this enemy Immortal, and you see that Aetherwalker from Lehman getting value here, and now with Mirror Ball picked up at level 16, it's going to be even that much more dangerous. So does Phoenix realize this? They already just gave up a huge lead over to House of Chez, and I don't think there's any chance to win this race from here unless they play defense, and they're going to have to move to the opposite side of the field to make it happen. Here comes Arrow. Does he find a power slide here? Does he have that mosh pit ready to go? Li Ming going to be playing very safe inside that Bruiser Camp spawn for House of Chez. Can ETC find anything? So far, nothing. As Rabid Penguin starts looking for it, it's Zul'jin picking up the first kill of the fight. Great barrier coming out now from Lucio. Going to shut down any kills there during that mosh pit for ReGen Phoenix. Arrow in big trouble. 400 health. Trying to get saved by Morales, but won't be able to. Bottom side, it's Vala going absolutely ridiculous. Finding kills. Now the dude trying to escape on Li Ming. I don't think they'll be able to get away if they want to keep chasing this. But they don't chase it. The dude able to hearth back to base. And ReGen Phoenix now with an opportunity to get some damage out onto the enemy Immortal. It's going to be Vala sent to do that, as Arya and Snazzy staying in defense here on the enemy side. Ridley going to step in as Arthur's going to try to slow it down and maybe block some of these magic missiles from Li Ming. Trying to eat as many as they can while remaining supported up. On the other side, Vala's not going to be able to get the job done. Look at that. What is this thing called again? Blind as a Bat from Mal'Ganis. Able to secure the remainder of that Immortal, and it will be the second Immortal of the game for House of Chez. Here comes that Immortal. It's going to be top lane in favor of House of Chez, and we're on even levels, even talents. Currently behind by 2 kills are House of Chez, and ETC on this backside might have an enormous flanking opportunity if he wants to pull the trigger on this mosh pit. So waiting for Arrow to make a decision, waiting to see that slam. Now has been revealed inside that bush, and now in big trouble. Gonna have to power slide back to the safety of his own team. Lieutenant Morales just took a huge blast. 5 health was on the bar, and finally getting the kill is Chesmix, but a good Ring of Frost as well comes out from Jaina, but not able to do anything with it as ReGen Phoenix. Still nothing coming out in terms of this mosh pit, just now back online after it was interrupted the first time. The keep does fall as we trade out 1 hero for 1 hero. House of Chez is going to have to back out as the Immortal does fall. But job well done. They utilize that to their advantage, end up getting through the keep. But here on the other side, Catapult's starting to lock in on this keep here on the opposite side of the map. And can Zul'jin get here in time? Looks like he will be able to. Surviving on a thread is the bottom lane keep on the side of House of Chez. This has been a trouble point so far for ReGen Phoenix, but this time a bit more help holding the vision there is ETC. Opposite side of our map, once again, Chesmix getting to work with this Artanis on these Merc camps. It's going to be a bruiser one picked up and sent into the top lane. Catapult's also spawning every single wave now for House of Chez, so ReGen Phoenix going to have to play defensively at some point soon, but currently setting up in this bush, waiting for anyone to rotate their direction. Here comes Arrow, looking for the power slide, does land it. Follow up Blizzard from Jaina. It's not enough damage yet. Flash still on his feet. There's the barrier from Lucio, going to turn this around now for House of Chez as Snazzy falling to 400 health, gets swapped back into position by Artanis, and it's another kill for House of Chez, now 7 in the game for them. A failed attempt at a bush gank from Arrow is going to cost ReGen Phoenix potentially a second keep here as Immortal about to spawn. There is a bruiser camp pushing top lane along with 2 catapults, and if I'm House of Chez, I'm taking this bruiser camp and I'm pushing in with it. There's no outer wall turrets still standing. And they could just get that keep down, but they want to play it slower. Even with their level 20 talents, just dropping back to the Immortal. They say, let's win it with the objective. That's what's worked so far. And we're going to see them hopping right onto this thing. Quickly going to be able to push this halftime as ReGen Phoenix just having to play defense back at their walls. And 100% health remaining for House of Chez. We're going to follow the action here at mid, but looks like ReGen Phoenix may be getting sneaky along the bottom side here. Looks like they're trying to potentially get down this keep and threaten the core on the opposite side. Here in defense, no one from ReGen Phoenix. Now the backs are coming out from Caribou, Ridley, Flash, and Chesmix. They know what's going on, and they're going to play defense on the core. Those big roots are going to land on ETC, forgetting about the new Nexus anomaly. ETC falls right away. Arya's been flipped all the way back to base. She's going to try to kill herself as quickly as possible. And that might have just been the game right there. No shielding taken off the core as ReGen Phoenix looking to move in. ETC getting rooted by the core. And I don't know how they save the day from here. Will be Jaina, Arthas, and Vala in defense, so they at least have some damage available. Swap gonna miss from Artanis as Zul'jin gonna have to pop that Taz Dingo early. Keep is down. Immortal still extremely healthy. Here comes Blind as a bat from Mal'Ganis, or was it? No, it's gonna be the Carrion Swarm at least, trying to get some health back. Artanis is gonna fall, so no more amateur opponent, but this Immortal is way too healthy. Will be GG game number 2. Awarded over to our number 10 seed, House of Chez. Hold on a sec. I flipped over on my stream deck. Here we go. Let's check out this match summary brought to you by Nexus Gaming Series and Military and Veteran Gamers. 9-9, the kill count, 21 minutes and 23 seconds is what it took for House of Chez to win some objectives when they mattered most. They take the win on Battlefield of Eternity, sending us now to a game number 3, a deciding game number 3. The winner there will punch their ticket to our Saturday finale, the semifinals and finals taking place Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern. So one game will decide it all. Let's take a look at this talent screen before we move on to our final break of the night. I want to say once again, thank you for all of you out there at home taking a peek here at the ReGen Invitational 3. You are tuned in for a thriller right now as our number 10 seed potentially about to serve an upset to the home squad, ReGen Phoenix, here in the Invitational bracket. We'll be back in just a few moments as we have another word from our sponsor and we set up our game number 3. And welcome back. Thanks for staying tuned in here during the break. Yet to get our lobby set up, so opportunity to chat once again about our fantastic charity we're working with here during this event. Military and veteran gamers, working with our veterans out there, supporting those with PTSD and depression. Help send out some care packages to the troops by donating at mvgcharity.com/tip. If you'd like, you can hit !donate in chat right now to get a link to that. Or if you want to find out more, !MVG to be sent over to their website. Do have a lobby now. Looks like we're going to be heading into Sky Temple for game number 3. Our deciding game, winner take all. Win or go home. Win and move on to Saturday for our semifinals and finals, which will be taking place live right here at twitch.tv/MurdaRG. You don't want to miss it, so make sure you're following the channel. Make sure you're supporting these teams and hopefully also supporting MVG. 61% of our stretch goal has been completed. You guys are amazing for smashing through that original goal. No sense in stopping now. Let's keep it coming. You guys are amazing. So a big thank you to all of you out there who have already contributed. Make sure your friends know about us as well and know about this fantastic opportunity to give back to our veterans. Waiting just a moment here for House of Chez to return to the lobby before we start up our final deciding match. Once again, as mentioned, will be Sky Temple, as chosen by ReGen Phoenix. Our first team to draft here will be House of Chez, and it has been the side with the first pick who's won both of our first 2 games. So is that an advantage here for House of Chez? The Sylvanas was played in game 1. It was promptly banned out in game number 2. Does she remain a power pick hero? Or perhaps does it fall through and into someone's hands that we're going to be able to see that Banshee Queen get to work a second time in this matchup? I'm going to let them know I'm ready to go, but I think we are still waiting on Flash to give the ready check for House of Chez. But how are you guys at home doing? Hopefully you guys are enjoying your stay here. Hasn't been too much chatter today, so I don't really know your thoughts on the matchup, which way you guys are leaning. If we're going off of our polls we've ran pregame, 2 games in a row, it's been 100% of the vote going over to ReGen Phoenix, but you guys were wrong there in game number 2. Absolutely wrong. House of Chez looked fantastic. I think had a bit of a smarter draft. I didn't quite understand where the Morales came in terms of helping out the draft for ReGen Phoenix, so I'd expect a change at support. But if House of Chez continues target banning Arya in her support pool, does that force her onto another hero like Morales, or does she fall back onto the Anduin, which was able to secure the win in game 1? We're going to find out here as our draft is about to start. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to game number 3, and welcome to Sky Temple. Alright, so as I mentioned, this is the map selection from ReGen Phoenix. So House of Chez is going to be first to act here in our draft. They're first to ban, and they quickly, just as they did in game number 1, ban out the Abathur. We saw Phoenix target the Zul in game 1, this time wanting to get rid of Mal'Ganis, who gave them a bit of trouble from the tank position. They also used a ban onto Johanna. Whoa, Lieutenant Morales banned out. Okay, so gonna force ReGen Phoenix to make a decision here. Do they ban out Sylvanas, or do they leave her up, which is gonna mean Deathwing, Zul, Ana, a lot of very powerful heroes available to be selected here on Sky Temple. Which direction do they go? It's going to be Zul. They leave open the Sylvanas, giving opportunity here for House of Chez to get potentially the hottest hero in this patch. Do they have a player willing to play the hero? That's the only question mark. And it looks like they don't want to prioritize her, instead grabbing the Johanna. So that Johanna being banned out in game 1, banned out in game 2, played in game 1. ReGen Phoenix switches their ban over to the Mal'Ganis, leaves the Johanna open, and now a couple picks available will be the Sylvanas once again for Rabid Penguin, just as we saw in game 1. Actually, I think didn't they switch heroes? No, it was Darabo on the Falstead. Rabid Penguin did play that Sylvanas in game 1. And the Garrosh selected for Arrow. Two picks here for House of Chez. Flash gonna get inside that Zul'jin once again. Played outstanding in game number 2 on Battlefield of Eternity. And the dude finding a mage here, it will be Gul'dan. Seems to me like we might end up seeing that Uther support again. They had the Lunara in game 1 taken away, so it wouldn't be any sort of trouble on their own side. So this time having the Gul'dan, that's a bit more of that poison type damage that Uther can struggle to heal up. Waiting to see this ban will be Anduin taken away by ReGen Phoenix. One ban remains in this one, and it belongs to House of Chez. Do they continue banning out supports? Yes, they do. For the 3rd time in a row, Stukov banned out by House of Chez. So this time, does ReGen Phoenix take a support that might help them out? They're not going to have access to Morales or Stukov or the Anduin. Ana still available. Rhaegar still available. 2 picks that we've seen Arya play in the past. It will be the Ana. And I'm presuming a pick here for Darabo. Yeah, it's going to be Zeratul. Access now to Void Prison can definitely shut down some of these heroes on the opposite side. Going to require a bit of attention now with these final 2 picks for House of Chez. How are they going to counter out this Zeratul? They got to find a way to disengage these fights. Might end up being something like a Falstead could be of value on Sky Temple. Having the Gust also helping around that boss. 4 seconds remain. And they're going to need a healer as well. Will be Lucio for the 2nd time. And Chesmic's going to hop on the Thrall for the 2nd time. One pick remains. And it belongs to ReGen Phoenix. It's got to be their offlane pick. It's Snazzy, who still hasn't selected. Do they go back to the Sonya just as they played in game 1, or do they alter it a bit here? A few other heroes still available. It will be the Sonya once again. Going to be playing against that Thrall, and I think it was a favorable matchup for them in game 1. So a few heroes that we've seen already, a few that made some impacts during the wins for each of these teams. So we're going to have to ask you guys in chat for the final time tonight. Who will win Game 3? ReGen Phoenix or House of Chez? And just like that, our poll is open. Head on up to the top side of your draft. Hit the drop down. Select the team you want to win and make sure you hit submit. It's been 100% of the vote thus far for ReGen Phoenix. But House of Chez looks so good in Game 2. Is that going to sway any of your opinions? Or will you stick with the home team? Is ReGen Phoenix able to punch their ticket to the quarterfinals? Or will House of Chez play the role of the big upsetter here in the 2nd round, just as they did in round number 1? Let's load on into game number 3 and introduce these heroes. On the left-hand side first, we got Arrow playing the Garrosh. We see Snazzy on the Sonya for the 2nd time, as Darabo is going to be playing the Zeratul. Rabid Penguin going to get back on Sylvanas. And Arya playing the Ana. Ladies and gentlemen, they're the home squad here tonight. ReGen Phoenix. And over on the red side, we got their opponents, Game 2 winners. Flash, the captain, going to play Zul'jin for the 2nd game in a row, as we also see Caribou picking up that Lucio for the 2nd game in a row. The dude on Gul'dan, Chesmix on the Thrall, and last but not least, it's Ridley playing the Johanna. Ladies and gentlemen, they're known as House of Chez. So a lot of green boys. You got Thrall, you got Gul'dan, you got Zul'jin. A lot of green in the face. You'll love to see it. Green, my favorite color. We're going to take a peek at these level 1 talents. Will be the block, tough as nails for Sonya. Going to help up against a Thrall in the top lane. And we do see Might of the Banshee Queen this time selected by Sylvanas. Echoed Corruption, of course, the pick from Gul'dan, which we quite often see out of Gul'dan players, and this time not going for Crash Lightning, will be Rolling Thunder for Thrall. I'm curious how the Gul'dan damage is going to work, if he's able to siege from a safe distance, or if these towers are going to start targeting at horrible times. We do see camps starting to be worked on both sides of the map, but first to pick it up will be ReGen Phoenix. Other side, it's going to be Zul'jin and Gul'dan comboing to try to finish this off, but here comes ReGen Phoenix, going to try to invade. Snazzy not able to get there in time, along with Garrosh, played by Arrow, on the front, so will be barely secured by House of Chez before that gank attempt comes out from ReGen Phoenix. Now in the bottom lane, it's going to be siege camps pushing in both directions, and a lot of damage coming out from Flash and the Dude, but they took a lot themselves, so starting to back up a bit. Now going to play at range, trying to deal with these siege giants, but you got to give the upper hand here to House of Chez, having that range targeting from Gul'dan and Zul'jin. They're able to clear out the siege giants first, as ReGen Phoenix just kind of stuck here in lane and going to try to do their best to deal these from a melee range. T-Dilio throwing out some more love for Snazzy in chat, says, Snazzy, take my energy. Looking for a Game 3 win here is T-Dilio for ReGen Phoenix. As I take a look at our final poll, the votes are locked in, and for the third game in a row, 100% of you at home here thinking that ReGen Phoenix will be able to win this. All very important, deciding game number 3.
Soon they shall bask in my...
Top side, it will be Zeratul holding the soak here for ReGen Phoenix, as Sonya was sent back to pick up the Bruiser camp that will be pushing in during this objective. And on the other side, there was no Bruiser camp picked up, so advantage in lane for ReGen Phoenix. Will they be able to make anything of it? We'll find out. So far, looks like they want to set up around this top side temple about to spawn in 3 seconds. And here on the mid side, it will be Lucio standing sturdy and gathering some shots over for House of Chez. Still no one actually up on this top temple. ReGen Phoenix trying to push in along with the black arrows from Sylvanas. They might be able to get through one of these towers. Looks like they will. Or will they? Yes, they will. Just barely able to secure that with the help of some of these tower shots as well. Arrow now tossing back Johanna. She pops Iron Skin and walks in, landing the first condemn of the fight. Rabbit Penguin taking a huge chunk inside that bush. So Sylvana's going to have to be careful from here. Snazzy going to step on back in, as no one standing on that mid-side temple yet. Thrall's going to walk back onto it. Zeratul still all the way down in the bottom lane for ReGen Phoenix, giving up a lot of space here for House of Chez to get an advantage on these temples. But here comes ReGen Phoenix pushing Thrall off the point, and they'll secure some shots at mid now, as Thrall's going to be sent down to the bottom lane, picking up some soak for House of Chez. Johanna, Zul'jin remain on the remainder of that topside temple. Now going to rotate towards mid, where there's still about a quarter of the shots remaining, but ReGen Phoenix standing on the point and have control of the vision for a moment, so they see this rotation coming in, and they should be safe, although Lucio's going to get a bit aggressive. Caribou taking a huge chunk, and now Zeratul in chase might get first blood, and does. First blood of the game awarded over to ReGen Phoenix, and they get the bonus shots on the temple. We're very close on XP, though. Almost deadlocked, as now Sonya finding a Thrall and sees that a siege camp is available on the side of the map of House of Chez. With Lucio dead, Arrow willing to walk in, finds a toss, lands it onto Chez, makes follow-up spear from Sonya. Second kill of the game for ReGen Phoenix, now turning their focus onto Johanna. Can the body blocks get here in time? Zeratul's going to try to get in front, and does after a good slam jam from Garrosh. They're able to get that kill, but there is a counter that comes out. Now it's Zul'jin in trouble. The sleep comes through from Ana, and it's a third kill of the fight for ReGen Phoenix, as Lucio's back on the map, but just a bit too late to help support that one up. Invade is secured for ReGen Phoenix, now turning quickly onto the boss, or are they? They are not. Thought they might have. But going to play it a bit safer here. Want to wait until Zeratul can get healthy, and of course, Snazzy working on grabbing some of this XP, and actually going to also grab this vision, which is going to help them control the top side of this map. Our next objective, of course, as you know, here on Sky Temple, is going to be spawning down on the bottom side of the map, so both teams going to be looking to find any sort of advantage they can. And currently, it's going to be House of Chez working on their bruiser camp. And I don't think this one, yeah, still 50 seconds until ReGen Phoenix can get their own bruiser camp. So will that be available in time during the objective, or will it be just a little bit too late? We're going to find out momentarily. Yeah, there it is. 30 seconds until the temple and 35 seconds till that bruiser camp's available. So nothing ReGen Phoenix going to be able to do there, as they're just going to clear up the bruiser camp and maybe now push in with the help of Sylvanas. House of Chez, are they going to respond or allow this push to happen? Looks like defense pings are coming out. Ridley, the dude, moving into place. Going to find some stacks for Gul'dan. 18 now on Echoed Corruption. And here come those black arrows from Sylvanas, shutting down this fort. And not enough of a defense here for House of Chez, especially with the level 10s being accessed by ReGen Phoenix. They get the fort down. And now we're going to start rotating down to the bottom side. No one on this temple yet. The early shots I thought would have already started to have been secured by House of Chez, but finally moving on the point is Thrall. Chesmix arriving and turning it to the red side for House of Chez. Going to be targeting in on this bottom side fort. Looks like Phoenix checking out the boss area, but not wanting to start it up yet. Here comes Arrow and company. All 5 heroes here for ReGen Phoenix. Does find the Johanna in the bush, bopping that Indomitable as well as Garrosh, but still not able to find any sort of toss, any sort of stun. The dude all alone in this bush, and Arrow definitely sees it, calling back some friendly units as the Void Prison coming out from Arrow, also landing a taunt. 2 targets in trouble, and the toss right on top of each other. Gonna secure that kill as ReGen Phoenix. Now on the bottom side, it's Gul'dan. Very low. Will fall as well. It's a triple kill, 7-1, the kill count for Phoenix. As Sonya able to walk onto the temple, they're gonna secure some shots and still have the Sylvanas nearby, but they don't want to push in. Instead, they want this boss. 5 seconds until Thrall's back up. 9 seconds till Gul'dan's back up. I don't think they get here in time. Likely going to be the first boss of the game, and it'll be awarded over to our blue team. Flash going to check it out. Does find Arrow. Darabo here as well. But a little bit too late. ReGen Phoenix is going to be able to secure the boss. Bruiser Camp still available on the top side, but with Sylvanas here, I got to imagine Phoenix wanting to push in with these black arrows once again. Zul'jin gonna pop his trait and try to reduce the health as quickly as he can, but here comes Sylvanas, and there go the black arrows, shutting down this fort. Wrath of the Berserker trying to shut down Flash. There's gonna be the Tazdingo from Zul'jin. Taunt on the backside, landing onto Johanna. She's surrounded, and she will fall. Eye of Horus trying to finish off Zul'jin, but I don't think Arya found where Zul'jin went, and Flash will be able to survive. Good healing there from Lucio as well. Another camp steal for ReGen Phoenix, as we see a couple more camps available on their side of the map. Siege Camp and Bruiser Camp. But still no one moving that direction, as I think they want to continue sieging here at mid. We don't see... Oh, there's Sylvanas. She's nearby, just waiting to get up here. Probably waiting for that cooldown on black arrows. And once again, they're going to push in and find more damage onto structures. You see just how important Sylvanas is in this brand new meta with this brand new Nexus Anomaly. You're worried about tower shots? Yeah, just turn them off. How about that? These camps still available, and smartly saving them as long as they could. ReGen Phoenix going to start them up just now as our temples are being called by our Raven Lord. I think it's the Raven Lord, right? It's going to be bottom side and top side here for our third set. There goes that siege camp bottom lane for ReGen Phoenix, and I believe they're going to start heading up to their bruiser camp as well. Yeah, there goes Zeratul? Question mark? Yeah, they are going to start it up. And they're also going to invade the enemy side. This is a very aggressive play, and I absolutely love it. Bottom side, we do see House of Chez on this temple, as being revealed by the red indicator on the temple itself. So Phoenix having an idea that they have at least a favorable fight if one was to break out in this position. They get the camp, and now maybe a chance to push in with Sylvanas. No, they're going to see Zul'jin and start backing out, or will they? Garrosh walking in. There's the taunt, but a great barrier from Caribou going to shut it down. Now the toss coming out. Flash in trouble. Silence as well. Can't pop Tazdingo, but finally, out of the silence, able to do just that. Still surviving, but does fall. Arrow able to save the day. excuse me, Darabo able to save the day with that Void Prison. Now Ridley the one in trouble. The sleep lands from Ana. And see you later with the help of Night Terrors at level 7. 10% of that maximum health is taken off after waking up. And once again, Sylvanas is here. And once again, Black Arrows are ready to go. Will be the first keep of the game with that temple still active behind them. Do they want to push in? No, they're not going to. And I can't wait until we see one of these teams start pushing onto these cores because of how this new Nexus anomaly works on Sky Temple. The huge wall is going to be coming out of tornadoes, which makes it an absolute hilarious situation for all the heroes trying to push in and maybe even try to push out from a core push. Final shots were secured by Garrosh as ReGen Phoenix starting to work on this bruiser camp. I thought maybe they would have tried to grab it before the objective, but instead making that aggressive play and able to steal away the enemy bruiser camp. Now going to be able to send this one along with catapults and maybe find some value elsewhere on the map. Currently level 16 to 14. It's a 2-level lead for ReGen Phoenix. 10 to 1 is the kill count. And they're just content pushing these lanes up for now, but I got to think they want to look for a fight sooner or later with this advantage. They are going to set up around this enemy siege camp, trying to potentially steal it away. Looks like they should be able to, as a bunch of heroes headed to the top lane to deal with that bruiser camp pushing in. There's the camp grab, and we do see the boss now sitting at 50 seconds remaining until it's going to respawn. Phoenix going to try pushing in this bottom lane. They see all the heroes up top. Clearing out that bruiser camp. Hearts coming out from Thrall. Rotation coming from Johanna as well. But a few heroes are going to be late. And Sylvanas once again making use of the trait. Along with the siege camp this time. Should be able to get this front wall down. A couple more stones might do the trick. But good clear. That time once again Zul'jin showing up. And showing off a bit with how much damage they're able to output. 15 stacks currently on the You Want Axe quest at level 1. Zeratul just standing full invis right there, and I don't even think Thrall saw anything. Now going to step in. They do find Thrall getting some free damage out. Garrosh looking for the toss, but wasn't able to quite get there. They do kill off the remainder of that tower, so no threat from any of the structures shooting back at ReGen Phoenix. Next temple phase about to be active in 10 seconds. And it is a level 16 lead for ReGen Phoenix. Now setting up around the boss, potentially waiting to see if House of Chez wants to move in here and make a defense on it. Darabo is going to see Johanna walking in. And there's the sleep. Silence as well. Toss back the stun. Finally, we get to see the iron skin from Ridley, but it's just a little bit too late. Darabo landing that VP. Did slow down the attack from House of Chez, but they do end up killing the Zeratul himself, and now with the help of Taz Dingo able to take out Garrosh as well. Zul'jin's gonna fall as the fight continues to go on. Barrier's already been used by Caribou, so Chesmic's gonna fall. Snazzy's still trying to live, but does go down as well. A 3-for-3 trade between these teams. Temples are active, but check out the core. 3 catapults showing up against House of Chez, and this will remove all that core shielding, unless if someone gets back here to deal with it. Actually, this Miniwave doing a decent job, already killing off one of them. And now with Johanna getting back on the map, she'll be able to kill off the last one before the core shielding is taken off. No one's moved up to that top temple yet. And finally, I think we're going to see Sylvanas move that direction, but advantage for House of Chez here on the mid side, already getting through half of these shots, working on the remainder. And finally, some shots being taken out from the top side of the map. 5 remain until the bonus shots go off, and a defense will be able to come out from House of Chez. Actually, they move off the point, slowing it down a bit. Lucio going to walk back on, getting the final shot, and there go the bonus shots now. But is it too late to show up and respond to the topside temple? I think it might be. And I also think it might be enough to get that keep if they stand there, but they're not going to. They're going to back on out. They're waiting for that VP and maybe waiting for Sonya, since she's down here on the bottom side working on a siege camp. So House of Chez able to walk in, steal away some shots, but it won't be enough to get any of these keeps down, as that topside temple will target the topside structures as priority. So all the keeps still stand for Phoenix, and we have a couple objectives available on our map, boss and siege camp. But here goes House of Chez on their own siege camp, going to get through that pretty quickly. And maybe now we're going to set up in defense around this boss. Phoenix waiting for their level 20s, and I think House of Chez knows Zeratul nowhere nearby, so do they want to start up a boss? Doesn't look like that's the case. Instead, it's going to try to push in this bottom lane a bit, although I wouldn't expect them to want to push past the Bridge of Death. They're going to check out some of these bushes around the boss, and we'll see where it goes from here. Finally, level 20s are secured. ReGen Phoenix now walking back towards the boss. Do they want to get risky? They have all of their heroics ready to go. On the other side, we see the same deal. Arrow getting set up in the bush, and finally we do see it started up. ReGen Phoenix working on this boss as House of Chez rotating to the top lane. Going to try to steal away a bruiser camp from ReGen Phoenix. This is where the game's going to start getting exciting. Who's going to get the better exchange here on these camps? Is it going to be the boss, or will it be the bruiser camp in that top lane? There's not going to be a minion wave pushing alongside this boss in the bottom lane. Instead, it'll just be the boss. Big siege camp, big siege push along with a catapult here for House of Chez. They are going to send back Zeratul to deal with it. And the rest of ReGen Phoenix, I think, are giving up this push, even with the level 20 talents. They don't feel too good about it. Going to wait until this objective spawns, win by temples perhaps, and hope that that boss can get through the remainder of that wall, maybe some of the keep as well. It's going to focus first onto the well. It's going to go down rather quickly, but so will the health bar of this boss. Now finally turning its focus onto the keep. It's only going to get off about 10%. As we have our temple active in 3 seconds, still just level 19 for House of Chez.
My magic flows.
No one walking onto the temple yet. I don't know how I feel about this. Just get on the temple. Get the shots. No need to be looking for the fight. Just get the shots. Shoot them at the keeps here and take advantage that way. They got to be worried about a potential backdoor onto one of these keeps, but they're going to get vision in the lane, and they still know their opponents don't have level 20, so free shots, and it will likely be 2 more keeps for ReGen Phoenix, and maybe even some shots onto the core. This other keep, very low. It's just going to shoot through this well and then focus onto the keep itself. Then after that, plenty of shots remain for ReGen Phoenix to be firing off at this core. They're starting up their backs, but I think just slowly delaying them in case. Smart plays. And here go the shots onto the core. Does it take off the shielding? Bloop, 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 bloop. Oh, they didn't even get the last shot. What are they doing? I'm trying to stall this out. Calculated, perhaps? Gonna grab a siege camp, and now level 20s are here for House of Chez. And they're walking in quickly. Garrosh gonna have vision of them walking this way, as Sylvanas not with them. They have to leave this fight. Gonna give over a free clear to House of Chez, and a camp on their own side of the map as well for the red team. So you see them moving back as a group. Gonna secure that, as 1 shot still remains on this bottom side temple. It appears as though ReGen Phoenix is willing to give it up, and kind of just want to hang out and see what goes on, and maybe see one of their opponents move on to the temple. No, finally it'll be Zeratul walking in for the final shot, and should have a blink over the wall here. Yep, he does. And Darabo will be safe.
My temple's magic subsides. Find something else to fight over.
And here we are, back in the action. Sorry about that, taking a sip of water. We do see House of Chez up top now in the 20th minute, trying to clear out this wave on the top side, but ReGen Phoenix in a great position to just win temples from here on out and be able to secure this victory in this Game 3 win on Sky Temple. Remember, winner will be heading into our semi-final round on Saturday at 6 p.m. So win or go home, and it could just be one fight in either direction that'll secure it. So a lot on the line here as House of Chez going to approach the top side keep of ReGen Phoenix. There's a toss back onto the Mage Merc. So will be destroyed, and that'll reduce the armor being granted to these minions in lane. Still no exposure being provided by House of Chez. They're hiding in the bush here by this enemy bruiser camp. 8 seconds until it respawns. No one's checked out the bush yet, so I don't think ReGen Phoenix necessarily knows that they're in there. Will they check out this bruiser camp and potentially gonna find this final fight. Ooh, Arrow ends up checking the bush and revealing they're there. Early barrier from Caribou and the Lucio, but it's on a shorter cooldown now at level 20 with Bossa Nova. Here comes Garrosh walking in as the team is split for House of Chez. Chez Mix gets silenced and will fall. Now Johanna silence can't pop the Iron Skin, but finally gets access to it. Garrosh will fall as the Eye of Horus on the backside from Ana not quite able to keep Garrosh alive. So tank for Bruiser. I think that's a lead for House of Chez, but they got to check out their base. Catapults approaching in all these lanes, especially bottom and mid. Temples are now being summoned. And if one of these goes over to ReGen Phoenix, that could be it, folks. So they got to play careful here if you're House of Chez. You got to keep eyes on both of these temples, and you can't allow ReGen Phoenix to get either of them. Now here comes Zeratul looking for that free damage, that spread damage. Good sleep from Arya, but another barrier coming out from Lucio. What's the setup here with this VP? They don't have much with them. Daredevil may be in trouble. Very low is Zeratul. Now showing up as Gul'dan, but able to zigzag around. He gets on out. This temple in control still of House of Chez, being pushed back by Gul'dan. Great work once again by this number 10 seed, able to steal away that temple. So, Sonya gonna quickly head up to the top, grab this other temple as more waves are approaching mid and bot. For ReGen Phoenix up onto this core of House of Chez, someone's going to have to stay back to defend, and someone's going to have to walk onto this temple to defend here. So split focus, and it's a 4v5 advantage here for ReGen Phoenix as Garrosh finding that big taunt, but the Taz Dingo once again from Zul'jin saving the day. He's going to get a heal as well. Very low is the Johanna. She's still alive as Caribou not able to save them that time. The temple's still active. Garrosh gonna walk back onto the point. Is that enough to end it? The core shielding is still there, but now you see it starting to fall as more catapults are approaching. Thrall gonna clear out mid. Someone's got to be sent to bottom as well. Are there enough shots in the temple to close out this game number 3? I don't think there are, so ReGen Phoenix gonna have to start heading towards the core. 32% right now. Bonus shots going out. It'll send it to 13, but the game is not over. ReGen Phoenix want this boss, and they should be able to get it. I mean, it's 5-3 on the map. They have vision of Johanna, Lucio, and Thrall. A boss could seal the victory, and no one here in defense from House of Chez. Just now coming over is Thrall. Does he have a Sunder from distance? Gonna see the Zeratul here. Can they continue walking in? No, not able to get the job done as Zeratul with the VP able to lock in Thrall. Can they get a kill with this taunt? Yes, they can. Thrall will fall. And that might be the beginning of the end, as now Ridley, surrounded by a bunch of blue shirts, gets that indestructible proc at level 20. But that'll be it for Johanna, and potentially that will be it for this game number 3. Boss approaching in the bottom lane for ReGen Phoenix. We will get to see this core defense. Will the tornadoes be enough to save the day? 13% is all that remains on this core, and here they come with the final push. ReGen Phoenix trying to punch their ticket through the Vortex Whirlwind here on Sky Temple, and the boss will be able to secure the win. ReGen Phoenix heading into the semifinals. Wow. What a set. Our first 3-game set here, at least on my channel during the Invitational. Definitely going to lose my voice after that one. Went on for a very long time. Outstanding work by both of our teams. Huge credit goes out to our number 10 seed, House of Chez. Looked like $1 million here tonight up against the number 2 seed, ReGen Phoenix. Definitely signaling to me that these guys need to be respected in NGS Season 9. Congratulations on a job very well done by House of Chez. Looks like there might be some issues with Discord. Hello? 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 Hello?
I'm in, sorry.
There you are. Joining me for the interview, we got the acting captain for ReGen Phoenix. It's your favorite. You guys know him at home. It's Arrow. How you doing, man?
Oh, man, it was, you know what? It's a good night. It's a good night.
It's a good night. So obviously the big story is the brand new Nexus Anomaly. So before we talk about anything else, how did you feel that played in tonight's matchup? And were you guys caught off guard at all? Or do you feel like maybe you had the upper hand in catching them off guard?
We definitely got caught off guard on the BOE matchup. Having the Frost Blast everywhere around the core was kind of crazy. And
yeah, you got stunned by it. I saw that.
Yeah. And after the game, I'm like, well, guys, I just threw the game there because I didn't remember what we did, and then there was no place to stand. So there you go. Sorry.
Oh, boy.
That wasn't the only thing. We did a couple other things, but yeah, the core mechanics are very interesting. I expected them to be impactful. I didn't expect them to be that impactful. Holy cow. Like the tornadoes, we were walking toward the core on Sky Temple. I'm like, all right, guys, let's see what kind of BS this core has. I don't remember. And we get there and I'm like, oh, of course it's the freaking tornadoes.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm sitting there and I'm like, all right, when we get to the core, I'm excited because I saw a preview of this. I knew it was going to be the tornadoes, but I don't know if it necessarily ended up being a huge factor because the core was already at 13% and you had the boss pushing in. But it was interesting. We got to see it at least. And the other part of the Nexus Anomaly, those towers targeting, you guys put a heavy focus on Sylvanas tonight. You got her in games 1 and 3 and she was banned out in game 2. Do you feel as though she was as impactful as advertised?
I think she was as impactful as she's ever been. I think she allowed us to play a little bit more like our normal game to a certain extent where, you know, we don't have the fear of a tower and we just say, hey, you over there, we want you, come over here. So to answer your question, yes.
Okay.
I
agree. I thought it looked good. I thought you guys got off to a quick start on Cursed Hollow in the top lane. You got down that early turret and kind of had them second guessing in games 2 and 3 about what you're going to do to start off those games. And you guys ended up, since it's in our memory right now, we just got done watching the Sky Temple game, and you guys got off to a huge lead, 10-1 in kills and a huge structural advantage. Obviously, on a map like Sky Temple, you got to be able to recognize that plays into your favor. So how much advantage did you feel you had in the later portions of the game? You're able to get those bosses, and like really how confident do you feel able to make some of those macro play decisions knowing you have that XP lead?
There was a lot of conversation of, you know, what I'm gonna say was kind of leashing the hounds, and by the hounds I mostly mean you know, Red, especially, you know, pointing out that, listen, we're ahead. If we trade, we win. If we get a point, we win. We have no reason to fight. Let's look for, you know, keep an eye on them, look for opportunities. Where are they going to be? What are they going to be doing? What do they want to do? What would we do in this circumstance? And, you know, pretty much, you know, with them falling more and more behind, it gave us that confidence to say, yeah, okay, we've got push in mid lane, we got push in bot lane, we got, you know, the top lane is wide open. There's a lot of opportunity here for us, and so we were pretty much, you know, pretty comfortable at the end of that game, looking for those opportunities to finish it out slowly. We didn't need to win the game all in one push.
Right. You win by attrition there on Sky Temple sometimes. So I know it's a question you love to ask people you're interviewing, so I'm going to throw it to you this time, Arrow, as I've been waiting to, and I think I forgot to last time I spoke with you. What was the impact moment of this match, someone on your team that you want to recognize as being spectacular here in this matchup tonight?
Let's see. You know, probably the most impactful moment, I think, was right at the end of this game, right? They're coming into the boss. We have Zeratul there. You know, they're doing what they need to. They're in the right position at the right time. They caught Zeratul. There was a moment earlier where Zeratul was hanging out near that bottom wall, and Thrall does a dance around him, like
like bumped into him. I saw that.
Yeah. So, like, you know, having Zeratul there, having the ability to isolate and split them, you know, Zeratul was a really impactful hero that game. But I gotta say, even having those Eye of Horus shots, you know, coming through all of us, I died a couple of times. I think I was probably the most deaths on the team, but, you know, it certainly opened up the opportunity for us to stay in that fight as long as possible. And, you know what, Snazzy's been a great addition to the team too. He really did well in the solo lane, and whatever, my team's just great. They're awesome.
Yeah, let's talk a bit about Snaz. You played the Sonya in games 1 and 2, but I think the highlight was game 2, getting to see the Arthas, and you guys maybe a bit sneaky during the draft. I noticed you picked up the Arthas and then swapped it over to him. I was like, something's going on here, stream. So maybe talk about Snazzy. How's he fitting in this roster? You guys like actually liking how it's working out? Anything you guys are still working on improving there at that position?
Yeah, I mean, this is our second opportunity to really play with Snazzy. The first being last week when we played our previous matchup there against Illa Dancing Queens. Shout out to Born to Shine. You know, so it's definitely a learning curve. He's played with some of our team a fair bit, but, you know, there's always going to be some opportunity for growth as a team when you've got a new player. And so we're trying to kind of get used to each other's communication style, what information, you know, is necessary for everybody on the team to make sure that we're all comfortable. And, you know, it's nice to have somebody who kind of fits into that same role as Mudge did and plays some of those same heroes. And in a lot of ways, plays those heroes very similar to the way that Mudge did. So makes it a little bit of an easier transition for us to bring him in.
Well, sounds like quite the compliment, as I know Mudge is a fantastic player. So shout out there to Snazzy for doing a job well done tonight. Arrow, let's quickly check out this invitational bracket, as we do see ReGen Phoenix becoming the second team to punch their ticket onto our semifinal final Saturday. Have you had a chance to look forward of who your potential opponents would be? We got number 3 Jailbait or number 6 Please Clap. Who are you looking forward to potentially playing there in the semifinals?
You know, I think that both of those teams are really fantastic. Please Clap was, I believe, the Division C Grand Champions across the board. So, you know, I think they've got a really good, strong setup, and I'm interested to see how they play against Jailbait. But, I mean, Jailbait's been on our radar for seasons. And, you know, I wouldn't be opposed to getting the opportunity to play against them again, having another 3-game series. Is it 3 games for the...
Yeah, the semifinals will be best of 3, and the finals will be best of 5.
Okay. Yeah, so that'd be great. And then, of course, up in the upper half there, Party Time moved on, and then they'll either have Roll 1 or Ban Cho, another grand champion, and Roll 1 B West. So, you know, really this bracket is shaping up to be an exciting place to be. Party Time beat us in the semifinals of B East. So, you know what? In all seriousness, we played Jailbait, I think, round 1. I'd like to play them again, and then I'd like to play Party Time again. It would be a nice way to have a recap of the B East division finals or playoffs.
The playoffs, yeah, I agree. I think that'd be exciting. Of course, you guys are going to want to tune in tomorrow night, 9:15 Eastern, over at twitch.tv/Slexia to check out that Jailbait versus Please Clap match. And the final remaining match here in our quarterfinal round for the invitational bracket, that'll be Thursday night at 10:30 p.m., hosted by Gravesville. So check that out as well. Arrow, I got to say, first off, thank you for the interview. Congratulations on the 2-1 victory tonight, a close one, and huge credit has got to go out to House of Chez. But before I let you go, of course, time for some shout-outs. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Well, of course, shout out, Murda. We appreciate you not only as the founder of ReGen, putting on the invitational, but also just, you know, being a caster and covering for us a fair number of times. And, of course, to the military and veteran gamers, if you guys haven't already done so, make sure you throw a couple bucks their way. Shout out to House of Chez, fantastic team. ReGen Red, a couple of our people are from ReGen Red, and we played them before, so it was great to play them again. And then, you know what? Just got to shout out the team. Red, Mudge, Dairy, Murder, Penguin, Recyclic, Tyloran, Snazzy, and temporarily for the spam, we had Luke.
Hey, Lulu. I see you out there. I actually got to cast Lulu last night. It was a lot of fun. Hey, once again, congratulations to you guys. You got a lot of work to get ready for Saturday. You guys are kicking off around 7:30 or when the prior match at 6 ends. So we'll see you guys there. We'll see you guys here, right here on twitch.tv/MurderRG. Arrow, thank you, my friend.
Absolutely. Thanks, man.
All right, chat. We made it to the end of this one tonight. 2-1 ReGen Phoenix end up on top over House of Chez. huge credit to both our teams tonight. They put on an outstanding fight. We're going to be sad to see House of Chez leave, but just around the corner, NGS Season 9 is on the way, and you'll be able to see plenty more of HOC play there. So get excited for that. Make sure you guys are tuned in on all the proper channels. If you want to follow me, I'm on Twitter at MurdaRG. Of course, make sure you hit the follow button here on Twitch before you leave. And if you're watching in the future on the VOD, don't leave YouTube without hitting that subscribe button. Really need your help there to get up to 100 subscribers. You guys have been incredible. A lot of help here tonight with making sure this one got off to a good start and a smooth ending. So thank you for being participants in our chat. Thank you for being participants with this charity we got going on. 61% is our total, and we're hoping to clear that 100% of our stretch goal by Saturday. So keep the money coming in if you got it. If you want to support our veterans, mvg.com/tip. My name's Murda, and until next time, I'll see you guys in the Nexus. Bye-bye.